again, welcome to Wildcat Stadium. We'd like to welcome all of the Jaguar players. Their head coaches, Tim Carlson, assisted by Don Burton, Matt Smith, Aaron Swartout, Kyle Fearing, Nick Zilka, Peter Knutson, and Brad Rupp.
Good evening and welcome.
On the kick for the Jaguars, number 26, Lee Kaiser.
Good evening and welcome to Wildcat Stadium. Jefferson Jaguars won the toss, deferred to the second half. Waconia receiving, working right to left across your screen in the home purples. Out just across the 25-yard line to set up the offense for Waconia, coming into this one at 1-1 on the season. Jaguars 1-1 as well. Ryan Mitchell alongside you for this evening's broadcast. Thanks for tuning in wherever you are tonight on Prep Spotlight. Should be a good one between two squads looking to get over 500 in this shortened season. Every game is magnified, no doubt. Leading his troops out onto the field, it's the senior Carson Dobmeyer, under center for the Wildcats for the first play from scrimmage tonight. The give goes to the fullback. Good push forward for that Wildcat offense and a good gain on first down on this chilly evening in Waconia. Feels like in the high teens this evening across the Twin Cities. They'll give them a gain of about 7, it looks like there, on first down. Wildcats want to run the football a lot. 245 yards on the ground per game so far this season. First down and more through the thick of the defense there. I believe that was the... That is the sophomore McAnally. Max McAnally, the leading rusher heading into this one. 319 yards on the season, averaging just over 10 yards per attempt. He'll be the main runner for the Wildcat offense tonight. Leading the load for their offense so far this year, he has 5 touchdowns. Now Dobmeyer in the gun. Option play. McAnally, first down and more down the near sideline. He's going to go all the way for the touchdown. Couldn't have written a better script if you're Coach Shea for the Wildcats. Hot start on this cold night. Get the boys excited on the sidelines. 6-0 Waconia quickly. On for the extra point. Well, actually, scratch that. We'll see once they break the huddle here. Maybe going for 2. And it looks like they are, at least initially. Dobmeyer, the senior, under center. Handoff goes to McAnally once again. Pushing forward near the goal line. No call yet, and I believe he's short. The thick of the Jaguars' defense stands tall and denies McAnally, who scampered for the long touchdown for the Wildcats to put them up 6-0 early. If you're just joining us here from Wildcat Stadium, hot start for Waconia. As I mentioned, both squads coming into this one at 1-1 on the season. Jefferson opened the season at Chanhassen, falling 49-28 a couple weeks ago. Then last Thursday, the home opener for the Jaguars, taking down Apple Valley 17-0. Waconia, on the other hand, fell in their opener as well here at Wildcat Stadium to Robbinsdale Cooper a couple Fridays ago, falling by a score of 20-13. And then last Friday at St. Louis Park, they knock off the Orioles 49-14. So Coach Shea looking to keep the momentum for his squad tonight. Same can be said for Coach Carlson on the other side for the Jaguars. To kick it away, it's the senior Luke Peterson for the Wildcats. As this is a low burner off a couple of hops. The Jaguars up the field, room to work with, and the Turf Monster got him there, shy of the 30 on the return for the for the Jaguars. It's Isaac Freitag, the senior wideout who's been very productive so far this year in the air, leading the way with 9 receptions through 2 games thus far for this Wildcat offense. That's going to be led by the senior Carton Hansen to march out onto the field shortly as they'll set up shop at the 29-yard line. If you're just joining us, folks, it's 6-0 Waconia on the long touchdown run by the sophomore McAnally. And that's where we stand right now. First play from scrimmage. Not much doing on the draw call for the Jefferson offense. And it's the leading tailback, the senior Roosevelt Cage, on the season, averaging just over 4 yards a clip. 2 touchdowns on 148 yards on the ground so far for the senior Cage. Expect him to get some work tonight. Jefferson, though, averaging under 100 rush yards per game, 179 through the air. Man in motion, he'll get it on the end around, and it's on the turf, and Waconia is going to get the turnover. Didn't look like that ball was necessarily punched out. Sam McAnally officially awarded the fumble recovery, the senior, a running back for this Waconia squad, playing 2 ways, also an inside linebacker. Johnny on the spot. Coach Shea's got to be pleased with this start for his Wildcats. A dream start for Waconia in front of their fans on this cold Friday evening, trying to give them something else to cheer about. The call once again to the fullback there, plunging up the middle for a couple. It's Sam McAnally, the man who just fell on the fumble, picking up a couple for 2nd down and long. You can see pretty early it's going to be ground and pound for this Waconia offense and really for Jefferson until they can slow them down. You'd have to imagine Coach Shea and his staff are going to stick with that throughout tonight, not risk putting the ball in the air. Going wide for this one. McAnally finding the edge, but being stopped before he can get the corner. Good pursuit from the Jefferson defense. Getting to the edge was Josh Metzger, the junior defensive back for the Jaguars, and they force the first 3rd down of the evening. Trying to get off the field potentially, but you never know in high school football. This could be 4 down territory. The senior Luke Peterson, this may be a little out of his range. The senior Dobmeyer in the gun once again, but movement on that right side of the line. Looks like it'll be a full start. That is the call, and now this play call may get a little bit different if you're the Wildcats. Especially if you have 2 downs and this is 4 down territory. Potentially try to pick up 3 or 4 if you can't get the first and make it a more manageable 4th down. Looks like it'll be about 3rd and 7 officially to go for the Wildcats, having to get to the 23-yard line of the Jaguars. Well, they have to put it in the air here. The senior quarterback, Dobmeyer, has completed 47% of his passes through 2 games for 175 yards. And the Jefferson coaching staff excited on that far sideline. Our Coach Carlson's coaching staff, as I was saying, as they get another false start from the Wildcats, and all of a sudden, after a dream start for Waconia, backed up and all of a sudden what was once a 3rd down and 2 yards to go is now a 3rd down and 12 for the Wildcats. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. The senior Dobmeyer. Jaguars showing some pressure. They bring just 4. Dobmeyer under duress has to throw it away. Jaguar coaching staff saying they want intentional grounding. He was not out of the pocket yet. It looked like he was still in the tackle box. Referees are discussing as he just got rid of that one on the far side. It didn't look like there was anyone in the area. And there is the flag thrown. We'll await the call. And it will officially be intentional grounding, and he signals loss of down as well on the quarterback, Dobmeyer. So Jefferson there showed as much as 7 at the line, and then the 3 linebackers dropped. They just brought their front 4, but getting pressure with just the front 4 base. The Jaguars defense standing tall on that 3rd down and long, taking advantage of the couple of full start calls on the Waconia offense. As the senior Dobmeyer will chat with his coach. You see this a lot in high school football where it's 4th down, the quarterback stays in, and he could be the punter, although the punter listed that I have is Anders Rodning, the sophomore. We'll see if it's a pooch kick or if it's just straight up going for it. 4th down and a long ways to go, but we got whistles before the snap once again. As we await the call from the referee once again. Trying to ask his other official, I'm not sure what's going on here. Jefferson's trying to take advantage, make a couple of subs, chat with their coaches on the far sideline. And now the punt formation will come out onto the field for the Wildcats, it looked like. And it will be the aforementioned sophomore, Anders Rodning, to send it away for the Wildcats, standing at his own 46, awaiting the snap. Jefferson showing a little bit of heat, trying to make it tough for him to get this one off. Pressure coming, and he did get it off. And it takes a Waconia bounce inside the 15. It'll settle down at the 13. So after the turnover, they have the ball inside the 35. Wanting more to add on to their 6-0 lead on the long touchdown run by Max McAnally on that first drive of the game from about 55 yards out. They don't get more points, but nonetheless flip the field a little bit, I guess you could say, even though they had great field position to start with. And Coach Carlson's offense will head out onto the field for Jefferson, looking for a better result. Once again, it's the senior Hansen under center for Bloomington Jefferson. Getting the call once again, it's the senior tailback, Roosevelt Cage. Not much space to work with on first down. As I mentioned, contrasting styles. Jefferson averaging 179 yards per game through the air. Waconia just 88, but Waconia on the rushing side averaging 245 on the ground through 2 games, while Jefferson averaging just 97. So obviously the Jaguars have gotten their big plays through the air. We'll see if Hansen can hit one of those sooner rather than later. And he's got his man. First down and more. Across the 25 up to the 28. There's the senior we mentioned before, Isaac Freitag. His 10th reception of the season. Great pass protection there on the previous play by the Jefferson offensive line. giving their quarterback Hansen time to work. 2 wideouts to the near side, 1 to the far side. Handoff to Cage. Not much going. Wildcats defense standing tall.
Handoff left side, 22, Roosevelt Cage. Brought down on the play by number 4, Sam McAnally.
Once again, it's the inside linebacker, Sam McAnally, rallying to the ball very well on that far side of the field. That's what you want your linebackers to be, rangy and able to move laterally, cover a lot of ground. Hansen now in the gun. 2 wideouts to the near side, 1 to the far side. Quick pass. That one is picked off by McAnally. And now he coughs it up on the turf. Did Jefferson somehow get it back?
Number 5, Dobmeyer.
Excuse me, that was Dobmeyer on the interception. My apologies. And Jefferson somehow escapes after being intercepted. The defensive back, Carson Dobmeyer, off the deflected pass, the high throw, able to secure it, has a nose for the football, but then he coughs it up, trying to run it back. He can't believe it. His teammate trying to encourage him and tell him we got to move on and buckle down here defensively. Second life for the Jaguars, officially their 3rd possession of the night. Cage rumbling for the first down. Really the first time tonight we've seen him been able to get past that first line of defense, get to the second level, and that's where you can start to run downhill, pick up speed, and finish those runs if you're the tailback, Cage. Try to wear down this Wildcat defense throughout the evening. Hansen rolling, pointing down the field, and that one falls incomplete. They had a couple wideouts on that far side, running a route right next to each other. Coverage was there for the Wildcats on that far side of the field. Wasn't much room to operate for those Jefferson wideouts. It was the senior Harrison Chappell on that far side of the field who the pass was intended for. That's the tight end for the Jaguars. Trying to find their rhythm offensively. Haven't really been able to do so far tonight. With just over 5 to go in this first quarter. Cage has a couple nice blocks, hitting the edge, and he's near a first down. Think he'll be a little bit shy. Also a nice block by the wide receiver there on the far side of the field. Sam Wanzek holding his block for the Jaguar offense and giving Cage an opportunity to set up a 3rd down and manageable as the crowd will get into it here at Wildcat Stadium. Hansen with the hard count. We'll take a look to the sideline. Quarterback sneak, and I think he's going to have it. Actually, this is going to be pretty close. He thought with his second effort he may have got there, but the Wildcat defense stands tall as he looks to be about a yard shy. Wildcats looking to the sideline, and there's no hesitation from this coaching staff. They're going for it, and interestingly enough, Hansen in the gun. Is he going to try to draw him off sides? Looks like they may be content to just let the play clock wind down. Hansen now lining up for a pooch punt. And the advantage of that is there's no returner back for Waconia. Takes a couple of Jaguar bounces before settling down. Just inside the 20-yard line, they'll mark it at the 16. Wildcat looking to impose their will once again on the ground on this drive, you can be sure. This will be officially their third drive of the evening. Dobmeyer, McAnally up the middle once again.
Dobmeyer's handoff left side, number 2, McAnally. Brought down on the play by.
Looks to be a busy night for the sophomore, Max McAnally. 5'11", $190. Carrying the load and playing two ways as well for Coach Shea. Dobmeyer now a couple backs next to him. Free rushers coming into the backfield for the Jaguars. McAnally did well to evade one of them, but it'll bring up third down for the Wildcats.
Tackled on the play by 77, Kashan Kobold.
On the tackle for the Wildcats, the junior Kobold. Trying to stand tall in the middle, this Jefferson defense. Expecting a run here. Dobmeyer back to throw, trying to get away, buying time, up the far sideline. Jefferson was all over it. McAnally was leaking out of the backfield, trying to cause a dump-off option for his quarterback, and he's down on that far side of the field.
Pass intended for number 2, McAnally. Injury on the play.
And we'll take a quick step aside as well. Back in moments here on Prep Spotlight. Thankfully, looked like McAnally just had the wind knocked out of him. Gets up off the turf. But the Wildcats will have to send it away. Having trouble with the snap was the punter, Rodney. And great field position here for the Jaguars, trying to take advantage after the stop from their defense, forcing the 3 and out on this chilly night in Waconia. Field position huge to try to make something happen. Just 2 to go in this opening quarter from Wildcat Stadium. If you're just joining us, our lone score thus far, about a 55-yard touchdown run up the near sideline by the sophomore Max McAnally on the first drive of the night for the Wildcats. A couple turnovers since then, but no score change. Jaguars with a prime opportunity here to get on the scoreboard. It's the senior Hansen. Design run on the near side. Waconia sniffs it out.
Hansen to the right side. Tackle on the play by 28, Luke Peterson, and 29, Alex
On
Riley.
the tackle, Luke Peterson, the senior linebacker for the Wildcats. No gain, forcing second down and long, where it may be 4-down territory for the Jaguars at this point. They just want to make it third down and manageable here. Quick throw out, and that one's on the turf. It wasn't behind the quarterback, though, from where it left his hand, so that's not a live ball. That's the senior wideout free tag. Unable to come up with that one. Forcing third down and long for the Jaguars, and here's the question now, creeping into the minds of their head coaches. Do we have 2 plays here to try to pick it up? Is this 4-down territory? This call on 3rd down will say a lot to answer that question. 2 wideouts to the far side, 1 to the near side. Pump fake, chucking it down the far side of the field, and that one almost intercepted by the Wildcats. Underthrown and not far enough to that far side of the field from the quarterback, Hansen.
Number 21, Parker Dustin.
Parker Dustin got his hands on it for the Wildcats. They're upset they weren't able to come up with it on that go route down the field on the far side. That was Kobe Jorscom, the senior wideout for the Jaguars. Unable to really have a chance on that one. Waconia crowd trying to help out their defense. Jaguars, no hesitation, going for it on 4th down and long. And after this long pause, we'll see a timeout by the Jaguars with just over a minute to go in this first quarter. Back in moments here on Prep Spotlight.
Just to announce Waconia's starting.
Stem is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to load their minds. Dare to explore. Dare to STEM. Learn more at She Can STEM.
Fourth down and long upcoming for the Jaguars. 6-0 here, late stages of this opening quarter from Wildcat Stadium. Quickly to the line. Waconia coaches telling their defense to be ready. Hansen rolling. And they have a completion, but shy of the first. Well, it's going to be right at about the first down marker, I should say, and it looks like he has it actually. They needed the 26. They got to the 25.
Linebacker number 29 is Alex Riley.
Great ball there from the quarterback, Hansen. Official on the far side of the field officially saying they picked it up. That was the senior wideout once again. Free tag on that far side of the field. Coming up with it for the Jaguars, his 11th reception of the season. Officials telling those on the near side to move the chains, and they haven't yet. Waconia head coach wants an explanation. They're being told to move the chains, as they haven't yet. As they're now all squared away, a fresh set of downs for Jefferson. Quickly out to free tag, spinning off a tackler and falling forward for a good first down gain. Mr. Do Everything, the senior. We've seen him line up in the slot. We've seen him on the outside. We saw him on the reverse, or actually just on a little bit of a pop pass while he was running in motion. That was the fumble that Jefferson had a couple of series ago. But they're going to continue to go back to him time and time again tonight. Ticking down to about 20 ticks left in this opening quarter. Fumbling the snap and fouling on it there is Carter Hansen, and that's most likely going to be our last play of this opening quarter. And they will not have another snap. That will do it for our opening quarter from Wildcat Stadium. Lone score, 55-yard touchdown run on the near side by the sophomore McAnally. Has the Wildcats up 6-0. We'll take a short step away as well. Back in moments on Prep Spotlight for the second quarter. Jefferson offense looking to knot things up at 6 apiece. Running to the near side of the field. Being stopped shy on third down. Once again, it's Mr. Do Everything, the senior wideout free tag on the handoff. And it's decision time for the Jaguar offense with the ball set at about the 22. This would be a 39-yard field goal if they were to try it. Doesn't look like they have any intentions to do that, though. On a chilly night, down a touchdown, feeling like they have some momentum. Coach Carlson trusting his offense, trusting his senior quarterback Hanson to come up with a play here. Trying to move the chains again. Evading the pressure, the dump off, up the near sideline. It's going to be a turnover on downs. Chappell a couple yards shy, as once again the quarterback Hanson scrambling for the Jaguars as the pressure came from the Wildcats. A couple of rushers on the edge come relatively unevaded into the backfield, and it costs the Jaguars. Hannon not able to keep his eyes down the field and let that one develop. So now the Wildcats officially have 3 turnovers on the night as a defense. 1 turnover on downs, as we saw there, and then the other 2 being the fumble on the first possession for the Jaguars offense, where the Wildcats had to punt, couldn't convert it into anything after getting the ball inside the 35. And then they had the interception in the back end that was later fumbled. Regardless, McAnally getting plenty of work tonight, the sophomore, with a good first down pickup. Looks like they'll give them a gain of 3, making it 2nd down and 7. Content to take their time in and out of the huddle. The senior quarterback, Dobmeyer, on the pitch. McAnally dragging tacklers past the first down marker. Move the chains once again. Nothing fancy to this offense. If you're Waconia, they'll show some different formations. They'll pitch it like they have there. They'll have them run between the tackles. But really, you know the story. If you're the Jefferson defense, it's just a matter of digging in and trying to force them to passing situations and force the senior Dobmeyer to beat you. Only 6 points on the scoreboard thus far, though, so no need to panic if you're the Jefferson defense, as it'll be once again McAnally on the call. But that's what you're asking for if you're this Jefferson defense, making plays like that and not giving really anything on that first down predictable run call. It was the tight end, Chappell, also playing defense, obviously. One of the main men in on the tackle there, taking up some size in the middle for this Jaguar defense. A pickup of nothing as they'll mark it 2nd down and 10 yards to go here on the Wildcat Stadium scoreboard. Dobmeyer putting it in the air, wide open on that far side of the field. Looks to be a first down as he had nobody near him once he brought that one in. That's Trevor Stockman on that far side of the field for the Wildcats. He's the senior wideout, 6'6", for the Wildcats.
That play good for another Wildcat first down.
Stockman coming into this one, 2 catches on the season, 1 score. Another big catch there. Option play. McAnally has the edge. Now jukes back to the inside of the field. And this is a big play up the far side. McAnally, flag flies. We'll see if it's all coming back. He's in the end zone, but I believe this one's going to come back, as he was weaving and cutting and juking all the way down the field, getting the edge on the near side before cutting all the way to the far side. But most of the times on a long run like that, it's going to come back due to a holding penalty. We'll await the call, though. The senior quarterback, Tobmeyer, as you can see there, chatting with the referee. And he'll chat with his other officials, maybe making sure they got the correct number and where the infraction took place on the field. As we'll now finally get the call, it looks like, as they are marching back. As it's not, it's not a holding, it's an unsportsmanlike conduct, and he's having a chat now with head coach Corey Shea, as it looked like McAnally may have actually been loose in an unsportsmanlike conduct. You wonder if that's a blindside hit or what that is exactly. We won't know officially, but something potentially away from the play that didn't really do anything to hurt or aid McAnally going into the end zone. Again, that's just my speculation, folks. It may have actually had something to do with his path into the end zone. We won't really know, as I said, as the Waconia coaching staff still wants an explanation here on the near side. Regardless, it's all the way back in the Waconia end after the long run, and they're going to have to reset things and regroup all the way back on their own 40. And a lot of work there from the sophomore McAnally, running more than just the yardage distance to the end zone as he was cutting and zigging and zagging and juking all the way down the field. An impressive run from the sophomore, and he's gotten to catch his breath here as Dobmeyer, the quarterback, will get the play call from the sideline and will finally be back and ready to go. As we're still getting an explanation for what went down on that previous play. Long pause here between these last two plays. And we're going to get another flag on the Wildcats as the referee pointed to the sideline at maybe what one of the coaches had said, and they're going to march back even further. And so not only a long touchdown erased, it will now be first down and 25 yards to go from their own 25 for the Wildcats. And this is a big break for this Jefferson defense to regroup, reset, and try to take advantage of this situation and get the football back.
Waconia up to their 25.
As we'll finally be ready for first down and 25 yards to go for the Wildcats. Dobmeyer in the gun. Motioning there, McAnally. It's a quarterback keeper on the option. And work back. The ball came out, but that was already blown dead. Working him back and not giving any room to work with. Seth Krakow finding the seam up the middle. And Dobmeyer, tried to keep his feet moving forward, but Krakow continued to drive him back as he got the aid from his teammates eventually. And they'll give him a pickup of 2 on first down. Second down and 23 for the Wildcats. Dobmeyer to the far side. Once again through the hands, and it's picked off by the Jaguars. The sideline erupts for Jefferson as it went through the hands of Stockman. As the Jaguars will take that one every day of the week, coming up with the huge turnover there. Still looking for the number, as they had a crowd there on that far side of the field for who picked it off exactly. It's number 38, Deshaun Fitz, coming up with it as they're ready to work, and not much place to go for Roosevelt Cage. So the junior Fitz opportunistic on the interception. The first turnover generated by this Jefferson defense of the night. Waconia's caused 2 of them with change of possession, and you could say 3 in all with that turnover on downs. But Jefferson just trying to finally turn it into points here on 2nd down and long. On the far side of the field with room to work with, calling that one in, you guessed it, the senior Isaac Freitag on a good ball there from the quarterback Hansen. Not enough to move the chains, but make it a much more 3rd down and manageable for the Jaguars. As we tick to just over 6 minutes to go in this 2nd quarter from Wildcat Stadium, we are moving along quickly on this chilly Friday night. Hansen sends a man in motion. Delayed handoff. Cage on the far side of the field. Wrapped up. It's going to be real close depending on the spot. And I believe they're going to give it to him as on the near side. They're motioning, move the chains. He got the 25, and that's what he needed. So Jefferson hasn't been shy to put it in the air so far today, but trusting their senior tailback to fall forward and find just enough, and he did that to move the sticks for Jefferson. Designed run is going to go nowhere. It's going to be a short loss, actually, for the quarterback, Hansen. Waconia defense has been all over that a couple times tonight, not fooled whatsoever. In on the tackle for Waconia, Alex Riley, the sophomore linebacker for Waconia, another player on the field for the Jaguars. So we'll take a quick step aside as well. Back in moments for more 2nd quarter action here on Prep Spotlight. as the man down on the field for the Jaguars was Chappell. He gets off the field on his own power. It's a quick swing pass to the far side, tiptoeing his way into the end zone, awaiting the call. And I think he may be short as the official was awaiting the call from the far side official. And I don't think he got in. As it's Roosevelt Cage somehow knocking it into the end zone. You saw him tightrope that far side of the field. Unable to get across the goal stripe. Jaguars looking to punch it in to the far side of the field, overshooting his intended target. Free tag was the quarterback Hansen. It was actually Seth Krakow, my apologies, the senior wideout on the near side, running that route. Setting up second down for the Jaguar offense. Jefferson looking to tie things up, putting a man in motion. The quarterback Hansen to the near side, and he is going to be short inside the one. It looks to be on that far side, my apologies, Seth Krakow. And so that brings up third down and go. Interesting to see. So close to the goal line that Jefferson has put it in the air a couple times. We mentioned earlier on they like to do that, trust their senior quarterback Hansen to give somebody a chance. As he's been in the gun the first couple goal-to-goes. Now third down and goal under center. Jefferson trying to tie things up. Cage has stood up at the wall. Driven back. The Waconia defense standing tall, bending but not breaking on the goal line. And you'd have to think there's no indecisiveness here from the Jaguar coaching staff. Keeping the offense out on the field. No, actually, my apologies. Looks like it'll be the place kicker out onto the field for the Jaguars. I believe that's Blake Mamalakis. And so, with such a low-scoring game thus far, want to cut that deficit in half after they had it down to the 2 on first down and goal. They'll elect to kick the short field goal just 19 yards away.
Kick Aiden Atkins to hold Allen Wynn.
Aiden Atkins, rush coming, able to tuck that one inside the right upright, and they cut the lead in half, turning that turnover into 3 points. Coach Carlson's squad gets on the scoreboard. Aiden Atkins, the junior place kicker, cuts the deficit in half. Looks like it'll be a different place kicker here to send it away for the Jaguars, other than Aiden Atkins, that is.
Deep for the Wildcats, number 2,
it'll
Max
be
McAnally, and number 14, Owen
Nick
Armrine.
Kaposuis, the junior place kicker for the Wildcats.
Leaf Kaiser.
Try it again, my apologies, it's 26, Leaf Kaiser. After the longest break they've had on the sideline so far tonight, Wildcat offense anxious to get back out there. It's a short one. to that far side of the field. Some room to work with. Great field position for the Jaguars on the nice return on the far side of the field. That's the wideout, Dustin Parker, the senior for the Wildcats.
And 41, Tyler Sam.
So after that frustrating series of events for the Wildcats on the last drive where they had a touchdown taken off the scoreboard, marched back a couple times due to an unsportsmanlike conduct and then a penalty from one of the coaches on the sideline on another unsportsmanlike, the Wildcats couldn't pick up that first down. They turn it over, intercepted by Deshaun Fitz, turns into 3 points. Wildcats ready to go back to work. McAnally running for a first down and more up the near sideline.
McAnally's run right side.
That pitch play has been money the couple times they've used it so far tonight.
By number 15.
That was actually the play where McAnally went all the way to the house on the last series before it was called back. Getting the edge on the near side before cutting it back up and working all the way to the far side of the field on his way into the end zone. Waconia making a sub into the huddle before they snap it here, taking their time. It'll be the other McAnally, that's the senior Sam McAnally, into the game. He'll be the fullback. Once again, Max McAnally, the tailback. The senior quarterback, Dobmeyer. Pitch play. McAnally has a block, cutting it up the field. It'll be close to another first down for the Wildcats.
Goldmeyer's pitch, right side, number 2, Max McAnally. Tackle on the play by.
And they'll give him a first down as he got the 29. Nope, excuse me, they'll mark second down, my apologies. Looks to be less than a yard that he needs. It looks like the first down yardage to gain is the 29. They're at about the 29 and a half, so not too far to go for the Wildcats. McAnally's going to pick it up on the near side. No, he's thrown backwards, and when he reestablishes in his hit, it's going to be a loss on second down. I spoke too soon. The Jefferson defense strains that one out really well. And it's free tag, Mr. Do Everything on offense, pitching in on defense for the Jaguars. And it may be 4-down territory, you'd have to think, for this Wildcat offense. At this stage of the field, it would be a 48-yard field goal attempt, and you don't see many kickers across the state of Minnesota able to kick that in high school football, especially on such a chilly evening. Dobmeyer under center, handing it off the fullback. Sam McAnally, first down and more. As we tick to 1:22 to go in this second quarter, as they'll restart the clock once again. Wildcats got to move with a purpose, especially when they continue to huddle and run the football. That clock continues to tick. Unless you get a first down, it stops temporarily as they'll snap this one with 1:05 left. Quickly thrown out to the near side. Great ball. First down and more, dragging defenders just shy of the 10-yard line on the reception there for the Wildcats. Once again, it's Trevor Stockman, the senior, 6'6". As they'll restart the clock once again after resetting the football. 53 and ticking to go in this first half. Wildcats looking to punch it in for the second time tonight. McAnally cutting up the middle of the field for a couple, looking like he's down to the 6 or 7. Wildcats still have 3 timeouts, all of them in their pocket, and they're going to use one right here to stop the clock at 34 ticks left in this first half. Coach Shea wants to give his squad a chance to catch their breath and resettle things, as they want to make sure to have time to try to get this thing in the end zone before we're all said and done with this first half of play. Back in moments for second down for the Wildcat offense here on Prep Spotlight. Wildcats break the huddle. Back out onto the field after their first timeout called. It'll be 2nd down and 5 yards to go, so they can get a first down inside of the 5-yard line without punching it into the end zone. Dobmeyer, the handoff. McAnally on the near side, dragging defenders, and it looks like he may be near that first down marker, but not yet in the end zone, as that clock continues to tick, 20 seconds and ticking left, and they will stop the clock for a measurement, it looks like, at 18 ticks left in this first half.
Brock Edwards. Timeout, Wildcats.
And it is officially actually a timeout taken by Waconia to stop the clock as the referee is motioning to the sideline how much they have left to gain on this 3rd down and very short, where they can get a first down without getting into the end zone somehow, as that ball is placed just shy of the 2-yard line for this Wildcat offense. If you're just joining us, it's been the ground game, and if you're watching at home as a supporter of this Waconia squad, that's no shock to you. It's been Max McAnally time and time again from the tailback position. Couple carries for the senior McAnally, that's Sam McAnally, out of the fullback position. They've put it in the air a few times, turned it over once on an interception by the Jaguars, looking to keep it on the ground here most likely. 3rd down and less than a yard to go. 21 ticks left. The clock will start on the referee signal as this ball is snapped. Pitch, McAnally on the turf, still can't fall on it. Jefferson picks it up on the near side of the field, and it is still in play, and a crazy series of events gives the ball over to the Jaguars. A gift on the goal line, as it looked like the Wildcats would be marching in. As you can see, jogging out the field, he's going to slap a lot of hands. Johnny on the spot for Jefferson. Brock Edwards, the junior, comes up with the football. And really, they don't have much time to do really anything at this stage with 2 timeouts left in 13 seconds. Backed up just outside of their own goal line. Looking like they'll be content to take a knee and send this thing to halftime. And that will do it for this opening half from Wildcat Stadium. An early touchdown from Waconia on the first series from Max McAnally. Put them up 6-0. And then on the last series for the the Jaguars off the turnover, it was the place kicker Aiden Atkins to drill the 19-yard field goal. That's where we stand now, 6-3 at the half. We'll be back in about 15 for second half action from Wildcat Stadium here on Prep Spotlight.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Moments away. Make that right now. Time for second half action from Wildcat Stadium. Jaguars back to receive. Room to work with up the middle of the field. A good return from the senior Seth Krakow to set up shop for the Jaguar offense to kick off this third quarter. If you're just joining us, folks, thanks for tuning in wherever you are on this cold Friday evening in the Twin Cities. Hopefully you're somewhere comfortable at home pulling this one up. in what is sure to be a good second half and a tight finish based on what we've seen so far. Quick scoring summary for you if you're just tuning in. Waconia, 55-yard touchdown run from the sophomore, Max McAnally, on the first possession. Jefferson, near the end of the first half, got a 19-yard field goal off of a turnover. That's where we stand right now at 6-3. Quick pass in the slot, trying to run with it before he secured it into his chest is the senior Isaac Freitag. He's been very busy tonight, hooking up multiple times with his senior quarterback, Carter Hansen. If you're the Jefferson coaching staff, maybe that's one to go back to. He had room to work with. Looks like it was going to be some yards after the catch. But again, you got to watch that thing in before you start to run with it. Two men in the backfield, fullback motioning out to the far side. It's a pitch play to the senior tailback Cage. Waconia defense all over it, running to that far side and making them cut it back up to the middle of the field. It's the senior once again, Sam McAnally, the 5'10", 225 linebacker for the Wildcats, forcing a third down and 11 yards to go for the Jaguars. Wildcat defense looking to get off the field quickly. Jefferson wants to put together a drive. High snap. Hansen comes up with it, running for his life, chucking it to the near side and just out of the reach of Freitag. Just what the doctor ordered for Coach Shea and his defense coming out of the locker room after a tough end to the first half. If you weren't with us, Waconia inside of 30 seconds was marching on the doorstep inside the 5-yard line, looking to punch it in to take a 2-possession lead. And the Mr. Do-It-Everything, sophomore Max McAnally, on a pitch play that had worked so well multiple times in the first half. He coughed it up. He couldn't fall back on it. Eventually Jefferson got to it, and then they just took a knee inside their own 5 to waste away the rest of the clock in that first half. But not a good start for Coach Carlson's squad to kick off the third quarter. And that one straight off the side of his foot. It's going to go next to nowhere for the punter. Carter Hansen, the quarterback, with the punting duties there as well, and that can be dicey. You'll see that in lots of games across the state. Quarterbacks asked to do the punting duties as well if it's a traditional punt like that one or a pooch punt. And sometimes things like that happen when punting isn't your full-time job, if you will. And so Waconia with prime field position, just 30 yards away from the end zone, looking to get the ground game rolling once again. There's another pitch play option, but since it's an option, the senior quarterback, Dobmeyer, will take it himself. Jaguars saying he coughed it up. Referees from behind saying no, he was down. That is not a live football, and so a good carry from the senior quarterback on first down.
Tackle on the play, 15, Kobe Dorsham.
We saw in that first half, Dobmeyer keep it a couple of times. So far in the season coming into this one, he has kept it 16 times for 57 yards, and we've seen him do it a couple times so far tonight. In motion is Johnson. Dobmeyer to the near side, trying to hit Johnson, and it's through his hands. That's the senior wideout who couldn't help out his fellow senior, the quarterback. And it'll bring up a third down, and what again, you'd have to think is 4 down territory potentially for the Wildcats. Not sure the distance that the place kicker Rodney can send it, the sophomore, but from right here at this spot on the field, it would measure out to about a 40-yard field goal if they're not able to get anything here. Option to the near side. Dobmeyer keeps it, and the Jaguars make him pay. His forward progress was stopped, and they blew the play dead, even though the ball came out before he was down. The officials blew the play dead. It's a loss of a couple back to the 25. And it's decision time for the Wildcats As I mentioned, though, you'd have to think going into that third down, they knew they'd have 2 cracks at it. But now after the loss, it will be 5 yards needed to gain to get to the 20 for that first down. Domeyer in the gun with the senior McAnally to his right, the sophomore McAnally behind him. McAnally slips and he was down already, probably wasn't going to get it regardless. Jaguars come up with the turnover on downs.
Jefferson will take over on downs.
So a 3-and-out and a punt that went basically nowhere. Waconia gifted with great field position on the 30-yard line of the Jaguars. Can only move it a total of 3 yards. And the Jefferson offense will march right back onto the field and look to come up with something on this drive as we have 9:13 left in this third quarter from Wildcat Stadium. Hansen has 2 wideouts split to the near side, 2 to the far side. He sends Krakow in motion and he'll get the call. Working to the outside before cutting it up. The ball came out, but they said he was down. Looks like he got up to about the 30-yard line for a gain of about 4. We'll wait for the official marking. As we've seen that happen multiple times over the last couple plays where the ball comes out late, but the play was already blown dead or the ball carrier had already touched. And so they'll officially set up shop for 2nd down and 7, a 3-yard gain on that handoff to Krakow. He's in motion once again. The handoff here goes to Cage, and Jefferson's stoned there as the front 4 for the Wildcats stand tall. They're saying they have the football. The referees didn't motion that the ball carrier was down, but they're not giving any indication that that was a live ball, as we got another player down on the field here for Jefferson. Looks like it may be the tailback, Roosevelt Cage. As we'll take another quick step aside as well. Back in moments here on Prep Spotlight. After Cage is down on the field, he goes to the sideline. Hannon running for his life, and he's taken down for the first time tonight. Drop back at the 18. Coming up with the sack for the Wildcats, it's Bram Fitzsimmons. And so no decision for Jefferson here with 4th down and 17 to go. They'll have to punt it away. This one a much better one than the one prior, but it also didn't go too far. Heading to the sideline. And the Wildcats will take over with another great field position opportunity. Not as good as the 30 as they were last time, but not too much worse. The 33-yard line for Coach Shea's offense to set up shop. for their second possession here of the second half. 7:28 to go, third quarter from Wildcat Stadium. Dobmeyer decides to pitch this time. McAnally thrown out of bounds on the near side of the field by the defensive back Josh Metzger, but not before a good first down gain for the Wildcats. Wildcats work a couple of subs into the game, taking their time in the huddle, continuing to run the football and trust the ground game on this chilly night. 2nd down and 2 after the 8-yard pickup by McAnally. He'll get the call once again, and he'll push forward for another Wildcat first down.
That's McAnally left side, good for another Wildcat first down.
Once again, the senior quarterback, Dobmeyer, heads to the sideline to get the play call. Relays it to his teammates. For this fresh set of downs, Wildcats looking to extend their lead to 2 possessions with the score here. Well, that'd have to be a touchdown, I should say, as that handoff goes to the fullback, Sam McAnally, for no gain, it looks to be.
Chapel on the tackle.
Jefferson defense, really, I mentioned it before, I'll say it again, for the most part, they know what's coming. It's just a matter of staying in your lanes, forcing things to the inside on those pitch plays, containing the edge if you're the defensive ends, and linebackers have got to rally to the football and come up with the tackle. In motion, Max McAnally on the far side of the field trying to juke one defender, and he's tripped up nicely by Seth Krakow on that far side of the field. Jet sweep to the edge. They're trying to get the ball in McAnally's hands in a lot of different ways to give this Jefferson defense something else to look at. They strung that one out, though, well to the far side of the field. Officially will be 3rd down and 8 yards to go, as they'll have to work it down to the 11-yard line to move the chains. Could be 4-down territory, but you're nearing that spot where you may want to look at a field goal from here for the Wildcats. It would be a 36-yarder. Dobmeyer sends his man in motion to the near side of the field, unable to come up with it as he had to rotate to try to get that one in on his hands. That's Owen Armrine, the junior wideout for the Wildcats. Interesting call here. It is 4th down and long. As I mentioned, from here it would be about a 36-yard try for the place kicker, Rodney, but Coach Shea leaving the offense out on the field. Dobmeyer with 2 running backs behind him. The fullback McAnally and the running back McAnally. Flag thrown from the back judge. Full start on the Wildcats. Well, does this change Coach Shea's play call, or maybe change his decision? Now it would be tack on another 5. It would be a 41-yard field goal as they're stationed at the 24. And so now you're maybe out of even considerable range thinking to send Rodney onto the field. Interesting that we saw Dobmeyer under center on a 4th down and long the last time. Now he's out of the gun. 2 wideouts to the near side, 1 to the far side. Want to give somebody a chance on 4th down and long. Dobmeyer up the near side of the field in the end zone for the Wildcat touchdown, Sean Johnson. Wildcats punch it in. A dime thrown down the near side by Dobmeyer, and Johnson went up to get it. So after all that, maybe after all for Coach Shea, he liked that he had 4th down and 14 yards to work with. Really no other choice than to give somebody a chance. And hey, you tell your senior quarterback Dobmeyer, if it gets picked off, it gets picked off, and then it's a touchback out to the 20. You're going to turn it over on downs anyway. Why don't you give somebody an opportunity? They do just that, as now our scoreboard reads 12-3. They'll keep the offense out on the field, try to punch in the 2-point conversion. McAnally to the near side. Jaguars able to stand tall. He's short of the goal line. So 2 touchdowns for the Wildcats tonight. 2 2-point conversion attempts. Both of them have failed. But now a 2-possession lead for Waconia. 12-3 with 4:35 to go on the Wildcat Stadium scoreboard. We'll be back in moments for the next Jefferson drive here on Prep Spotlight.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music.
Yeah.
Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Freitag and Krakow back for the Jaguars, and on that far side, Freitag will watch that one roll out of bounds and gladly take the field position for the Jaguars to set up this 3rd series of the second half for Jefferson, as they'll march this ball all the way out to the 35, I believe. Trying to answer Waconia after they punch it in for another score. Good field position to work with for this Jaguar offense, still looking to punch it into the end zone for the first time tonight. Under center, the quarterback Hansen. The tailback Cage back onto the field after being down last series. Good to see him back out there. And excuse me, that's not Cage, my apologies. It's Aiden Bertrand, the junior tailback. But it's all going to come back on the holding call on Jefferson. They'll march this thing all the way back to the 25. Let's make it 1st down and 20 for the Jaguar offense. Hansen looking to set up the screen play and not able to come up with it. There is the tight end in the middle of the field, Harrison Chappell.
Intended for number 88, Harrison Chappell.
Now the mission for Jefferson, as you can see on that far side of the field, the coach is marching all the way down inside the 20-yard line to give the signals to their quarterback for the play. Just trying to make it 3rd down and manageable. Pitch play here to the junior tailback, Bertrand, and that one's not really going anywhere. Wildcats set the edge well. And it's going to be 3rd down and a long ways for this Jefferson offense. Officially 3rd down and 19. They need their own 45 to move the sticks. Interested to see here how aggressive the quarterback Hansen is. It's a quick throw out to the near side, batted down by McAnally. and it'll be
Batted down by the Wildcats, number 2, Max McInerney.
right back to the Wildcat offense. You can see a couple of times tonight so far, folks, if you're just joining us, Jefferson's had some issues on those obvious passing down situations on 3rd down and long, where the rushers have gotten after the quarterback Hansen. So you can see there the Jefferson coaches want to get the ball out of his hands quickly. As he's back to punt now, he had a really tough punt on the first series that went straight sideways. This one much better for the Jaguars, and back to receive for the Wildcats, securing it on his own 48, just shy of midfield. That is Owen Armine, the junior, to set up great field position once again for the Wildcats. And I say that, and this is the worst field position they've had in the second half. But hey, just shy of midfield, you'll take that every time if you're Coach Shea. And they'll look to capitalize on it once again. 3:12 to go in this third quarter. If you're just joining us, Waconia got on the scoreboard. First drive of the game, 55-yard touchdown run down the near side of the field by Max McInerney, the Mr. Do-Everything sophomore tailback. Jefferson tacked on a 19-yard field goal late in the first half to make it 6-3 for our halftime score. And then Waconia, last series, 4th down and 11 on their own 26-yard, or excuse me, Jefferson's 26-yard line, having to go for it out of the range for a 41-yard field goal. The quarterback, Domeyer, chucks it into the end zone on the near side of the field, and the wideout, Sean Johnson, helping out his fellow senior, going up high to secure it for the touchdown. Here's McInerney, breaking tacklers, cutting it up the field, pushing the pile, looks to be near another first down for Waconia. And the officials confirm it. First down for Waconia, working up to the Jefferson 41 as that clock continues to tick. 2:23 and ticking to go in this third quarter from Wildcat Stadium. Both squads 1-1 coming into this one. Both fell opening week of the season and both picked up wins last weekend. The senior quarterback, Domeyer, keeping it up the near side of the field before he's shoved out of bounds, but not after another first down for the Wildcats. Slow to get up back in the play. It's the offensive lineman for the Wildcats, Diego Ramirez, the senior, helped to his feet by his other teammates. And ready to huddle once again here as he stretches out and kneels over a little bit in the huddle. Waconia taking their time in between plays, much like Jefferson has really all night. Neither squad choosing to go with the hurry up. A score here of any kind would do a big help to Waconia's chances here in this low-scoring affair on a chilly night in the Twin Cities. McInerney upended and thrown to the turf. My apologies, that's not McInerney, it's the other tailback.
29,
Alex Riley upended and thrown to the turf after a short gain on first down of just about a yard, making it second down and long. Jefferson trying to stand tall, dig in against this run game with that 3-4 set that they've been operating in all night, showing more men at the line. With a man in motion, McInerney. Domeyer was about to hand it potentially to Sam McInerney, and everyone man up and set as it'll be a full start to back the Wildcats up 5 yards before this second down. And here's another chance you'd have to think for this Jefferson defense where they're telling themselves, let's just get them to a third down and longer. It could be 4-down territory, but we got another chance here to cause a turnover on downs or get off the field, however that may be. But they were saying that last series as well. And then on 4th down and 11, Domeyer threw it as far down the field as he has all night long, and Sean Johnson caught the touchdown. Domeyer back to pass once again. A free rusher comes at him, and he throws it away at the last second. His knee was down, though. The sack officially will go to Kayshawn Cobold. The junior takes down Domeyer. It'll set it all the way back to the 41-yard line. Third down and, well, you could say forever or just a very long ways. Third down and 23 for the Wildcats, and that will wrap it up for the third quarter here from Wildcat Stadium. Back in moments for the final quarter, Waconia and Jefferson on Prep Spotlight.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
Time for fourth quarter action here from Wildcat Stadium. Thanks for tuning in tonight on Prep Spotlight. Domeyer back to pass. Looking down the field, into the end zone, touchdown Wildcats! It's the junior Owen Armrine. Good things can happen when your senior quarterback buys time, has a chance to keep his eyes down the field. The Jefferson secondary loses Armrine on the back end, and the Wildcats make them pay. And for the first time tonight, they'll send the place kicker, Anders Rodning, on for the PAT. And that one sneaks inside the right upright, making it 19-3 Wildcats here in this third quarter. Fourth quarter, actually, excuse me. We just started the fourth quarter. Now that hill to climb gets much larger for Jefferson, but if there's any positive to being down 19-3, that still means you're down 2 scores. It would take 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point attempts to be converted, but still a 2-score game if you're Coach Carlson's squad. You're not done yet. Just starting the fourth quarter, just under 12 minutes to go. You still have an opportunity to work back in this game, but something's got to happen sooner rather than later, and you got to hit a big play, you'd have to think, to get this offense going. Krakow and Freitag back to receive for Jefferson, and this one's just a squibber to the near side and waiting before falling on it there for Jefferson, causing some nerves undoubtedly for his coaching staff. Anthony Thorman, the sophomore, eventually falls on it, and after Waconia kicked it out of play on the last kickoff, taking no chances there, and kind of a half squib kick, half kind of onside, make them fall on it, run after it type of a kick for Waconia. Great field position nonetheless, though, for the Wildcats, trying to bounce back after the long pass down the field to Owen Armine for the Wildcat touchdown moments ago. Jaguars would love to get it deep in the Wildcats' end sooner rather than later to have a chance to get in the end zone for the first time. There's a good start. The tight end dump off on the bootleg, working up the field for a first down, Harrison Chapel.
Injury on the play.
Back in the play, though, another Jaguar on the field in some pain. And it looks to be the offensive lineman, Lucas Kitzman, down on the play for the Jaguars. We'll take a quick step aside as well. Back in moments on Prep Spotlight. Zone power. Off on his own power, thankfully. Lucas Kitzman, potentially just a cramp situation for the Jaguars, but he's off the field, so a new lineman has to come into the game to replace the starter, as this one swung out to the near side. Unable to come up with it was the senior Freitag, as that pass was a little bit errant from his fellow senior Hansen. And you can see kind of the preferred mode of passing attack for the Jaguars is to get the ball out of Hansen's hands quickly and just let one of his receivers or the tight end, as he did a couple of plays ago, Chappell, make some hay with the yards after catch, if you will. Second down and long. Jefferson needs to get moving if they want to come back in this one. Cage with a productive run, getting to the other side of the field, making it a little more manageable here for this third down. It'll be 5 or 6 yards left to go. I'll make it 7, actually. I'm going to call it a short 7, a long 6, if you want to put it that way. Looks like they have to get to about the 43 of the Wildcats. More likely than not, 4 down territory for the Jefferson offense. Hansen giving it off to the tailback on the drop play. Looks to be a first down for the junior Bertrand, as we've seen Cage come into the game in this series after being down a few series ago on the turf and then walking to the sideline. And so they're giving the junior tailback Bertrand a little bit more of a run. Cage, the leader on the ground coming into this one, no doubt for the Jaguars, but the junior getting his chance here, and he'll get the call once again. Not much room to operate on that first down carry. As our clock continues to tick, 10-20 and ticking left in this fourth quarter from Wildcat Stadium. Jaguars still down by 2 scores if they can get a couple touchdowns and successful 2-point conversions. But they got to get in the end zone first and move down the field with a purpose. Jet sweep on the far side of the play. Waconia standing tall on Isaac Freitag, who once again gets the call on the handoff tonight for Jefferson. We've seen that multiple times as their offense has been stymied for the most part. Put up 28 points in week 1 in the loss at Chanhassen, and then put up 17 last Thursday as they hosted Apple Valley and shut them out 17-0 for the first win of the season. Both of these clubs 1-1. Looking to pick up their second win in this shortened 6-game season. Every game magnified that much more. Hansen in the gun. The high snap, able to get it and give it to his junior tailback once again, Bertrand. And right now for the Jaguars, you kind of question why they may be running it again and again after being stuffed, and the clock is not their friend as we tick to under 9 to go in this final quarter. Needing multiple scores are the Jaguars, taking a lot of time between plays here. Want to make sure to get the right call in, though, on this very important fourth down. Got to move the sticks and keep the offense on the field if you're Jefferson. Waconia looking to stand tall and cause a huge blow over the middle, threading the needle and moving the chains. Hansen to Austin Kropp.
Tackles on the play by 21.
Maybe the best ball of the night we've seen from Carter Hansen, getting it out quick and putting it where it needed to go to hit his wideout in stride, the senior to the junior to move the chains. Hansen with the handoff. Bertrand, some real estate on the near side of the field.
Handoff right side, Bertrand.
Potentially could have broke that one even more to the near side. Tried to get the edge.
Tackle on the play by
Nonetheless, though,
Alex Riley.
a gain of 8 yards on that first down as we tick to under 8. 7:50 and ticking to go. Fourth quarter here from Wildcat Stadium as Jefferson looks to that far side of the field for the play call. The senior quarterback, Carter Hansen, driving him deep into Wildcat territory. Looking to punch this one in. Bertrand again on the call. A couple of untouched defenders going to the backfield for the Wildcats
Men at the line.
as they'll wrap them up for a loss on
By
second
number
down.
20, Aaron Hayes.
Again, 4 down territory. Really, from here on out, you'd have to think for the Jaguars, 2 scores down, need to get into the end zone. With 7:05 and ticking left in this fourth quarter. 2 to the top of the field, 1 to the bottom of the field. The wideouts to work with for Hansen. Out to motion is Bertrand to the far side of the field, and he's upended immediately by the defensive back Jackson Lange for the Wildcats.
Play by number 12, Jackson Lange.
Wildcat crowd cheering on their defense, urging them to come up with the stop on this fourth down. Must have it once again for the Jaguars and the senior quarterback Hansen. They need 5 yards to keep this drive alive and maybe for all intensive purposes keep this game alive for Jefferson. Hansen looking to the sideline once more, and they'll burn a timeout, and maybe the right thing to do there to make sure you're on the same page, you're not rushed for such an important play call. The first timeout burned by either squad so far in this second half. Important play coming up on the other side in this one. Jefferson trying to move the chains to extend the drive, needing to get it into the end zone, down 16, 6:06 to go from Wildcat Stadium.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Wildcats break the huddle on the far side of the field after Coach Carlson wanted to talk things over before this all-important 4th down and 5. Looking to keep the drive alive, they need to punch it into the end zone. Hansen chucking it into the end zone. Touchdown, Jaguars! Seth Krakow punches it in for Jefferson. And I tell you what, you can call that a successful timeout, getting everyone on the same page. Hansen dropping back, time to work with, and throwing a beauty to the back of the end zone over the top to Krakow, the senior-to-senior connection. And obviously the Jaguars will keep the offense on the field to go for 2 here. That is a no-brainer, trying to make it a 1-possession deficit if they can cut it to 8 at 19-11.
Timeout, Jefferson.
And Jefferson is going to talk things over once again before the 2-point conversion, leaving them with just 1 timeout left with 6 to go. But you have to get this one. So you really can't fault the timeout decision here by Coach Carlson. You absolutely have to punch it in here to make it a one-score game and give yourself a chance to get a stop and have some time left down just one score. Now, if they don't get it, things aren't over with by any stretch of the imagination, but a vital opportunity here for the Jaguars to cut it to a one-score game momentarily. Again, moments ago, the touchdown pass going from Carter Hansen, the lefty, to the senior wideout Seth Krakow in the back of the end zone. We saw Krakow take a second to pull it into his chest, if you will, a nervous moment for the Jefferson coaches and players alike, but the senior wideout watched it into his hands and secured it, and now the all-important two-point conversion coming out of the timeout. Hansen under center, motioning his wideout, rolling out, quarterback run into the end zone, and once again the timeout pays off for Jefferson, getting the right call in.
Wildcats 19, Jefferson
Hansen
11,
cuts it to a one-possession deficit for the Jaguars, and we'll have a tight closing 6 minutes left to this one. You'd have to imagine the mission for Waconia: burn that clock, run the football as you have all game long. We'll take a quick step aside, be back in moments. Waconia football coming up on Prep Spotlight.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out?
You can say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You can chat with them in VR. It's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
McAnally and Arnrine deep to receive for the Wildcats. Instead, it's a short squibber, and it looks like we'll have a potentially off too early for the Jaguars coming across the line before the ball was kicked. And that's exactly what it is. Jaguars will have to kick it over again. Try it all over again. Again, Arnrine and McAnally back to receive. They'll do the squibber up the middle of the field once again. And you couldn't have asked for much a better result for the Jaguars as Arnrine has to fall on it for the Wildcats. He found the end zone on the last possession for Waconia on the deep touchdown pass from Dobmeyer from 40 yards out as he evaded one oncoming pass rusher, bought some time, kept his eyes down the field, and Arnrine found himself wide open in the end zone to put the Wildcats up at that stage 18-3. They tacked on the extra point. Jefferson, though, answered last drive with a touchdown from Seth Krakow on the pass from Hansen, and then the two-point conversion on the run-in by the quarterback Hansen. Timeout called before the snap by the Wildcats. They'll have two remaining in this fourth quarter. Their first taken of this second half by Coach Shea, as they again try to waste away the clock, if you will, on this possession and salt away this game if they can. Again, week 3 across the state of Minnesota for high school football. After a lot of these kids and coaches and parents alike were all questioning, will we have a 2020 campaign? Well, it's not what they maybe were looking for, not what maybe they would prefer, but if you ask most of them, And you said you could sign up for a tight contest on October the 23rd under the lights, albeit a cold one. Most of these kids would say, I want to play. Max McAnally likes to play. You can tell that from his performance tonight. He's been carrying the load for this Wildcat offense this evening. Mr. Do Everything with the first down run. Moving it up to the 35 for Waconia as that clock continues to tick at 5:45 and counting to go in this fourth quarter. Jefferson with just that one timeout remaining as they called the timeout before the fourth down play that eventually led to the touchdown on the throw to Krakow, and then they called another timeout before the two-point conversion play that was successful. So both those timeouts used well, but at this moment, you kind of wish you had another timeout left to stop the clock. They need a stop regardless, though. 5:15 and ticking as Dobmeyer lets the clock wind. A smart senior taking time off the clock as the tailback will take it forward for a short gain for the Wildcats. It's McAnally once again, the sophomore, who scored the first touchdown of the game this evening. If you weren't joining us on the first drive of the game for the Wildcats, 55 yards down the near sideline, ran away from everybody. And he's been busy all night long. It'll officially be second down and 8, 4:40 and tick left, fourth quarter. Jaguars with just one timeout remaining. Wildcats will take all the time off the clock that they can before snapping it. McAnally with the carry once again. A productive gain, taking more time off the clock, but he is a couple yards shy of the sticks, making it an all-important third down for this Jaguar defense. You look at the clock, and with the one timeout, this is not necessarily a must-stop in order to keep the game going and have a chance to get the football back. But I tell you what, they would sure like it here to get a chance to have the football back with more than 2 minutes left and one timeout in their pocket to give their offense a chance to work down the field where they'll need a touchdown and a two-point conversion. But all of that can only happen if the defense can come up with a play. Can they do it here as Waconia's quick to the line, and it's blown dead before the snap. A timeout by Coach Shea and the Wildcats, the second of the half for them, as they'll chat things over before this third down. Back in moments for that here on Prep Spotlight.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
Big time third down. Wildcats need the 35 to move the sticks. To the near side, McAnally not going down without a fight, but he stopped short. They gave him room to work with, but lining it up on the near hash, not using the wide side of the field, and the Jefferson defense was able to get to the edge and stop him a yard shy. And you would have to be really bold if you're Coach Shea to go for it here on fourth down and a yard. I understand you may trust your run game, but being up 8 with 3:15 and ticking left, you'd think you'd want to make Jefferson go a long way. And this may just be drawing him off sides, you'd have to think. Jefferson cannot bite here. They're going, though, and it's Dobmeyer, and he's going to pick it up.
Dobmeyer left side on the sneak.
A bold, gutsy call from Coach Shea, and where the officials are lined up, it looks like he'll have enough, undoubtedly, to get the first down, and he does. A call that we haven't really seen tonight works for the Wildcats. Coach Shea trusting that his senior quarterback can fall forward and that interior of the offensive line can do just enough to get him the yardage he needs. As we now have 2:50 and ticking left, Jefferson still with that one timeout left. These next couple downs become critical for the Jaguars defense to stand tall. Waconia taking off as much clock as they can, as they should. Dobmeyer, the senior, looking to salt things away for his Wildcats club, move them to 2-1 on the season. McAnally, knocked down in the backfield. You can see the Jaguar defense all creeping forward. Linebacking core and secondary standing just behind the line, ready to pounce, as they really know what everyone else does here at Wildcat Stadium, that it's going to be another run call, and more likely than not, it's going to be McAnally to take the call. 1:55 and ticking left. Referee timeout, as we have a player down on the far side of the field. I didn't even see that. Not quite yet to the sideline. It'll stop the clock for the moment. And I can't see a number on that far side of the field yet, but that'll give both teams a chance to take a deep breath. And you hope it's nothing more than cramps potentially. We've seen that a couple times tonight from the Jaguars thus far. As again, both these squads will have 3 games remaining after tonight. So once we close up shop here soon, it will officially be halfway through this 2020 shortened season, but a season nonetheless. As it looks to be the offensive lineman down on the field before getting up. Kashawn Cobold, the defensive tackle, who's been in on a number of plays tonight for the Jefferson defense, trying to slow down this rushing attack for the Wildcats that coming into tonight, averaging 245 on the ground and 7 yards per attempt. They rushed it about 35 times in each of the first 2 games, and it's been near that number tonight for Coach Shea's offense. Ground and pound, and they're looking to do nothing different here to try to salt away this one. 2nd down and 11, 1:35 and ticking as the clock started once again. McAnally looking to hit the edge, and getting his shoe and trying to hang on there was Krakow, and you got to give McAnally credit. Dragging defenders and falling forward after Krakow looked like he may have stopped him for little to no gain.
Injury on the play.
As we got some more cramping on the field for Jefferson, as the clock has to be stopped momentarily once again. I believe that may be Roosevelt Cage playing 2 ways tonight for the Jaguars. That's getting that left leg stretched out. As the clock again stops at 1:27, but reminder, when he gets off the field, those officials will start the clock once again, and Waconia will be able to take off some more clock before they snap the football for this 3rd down. And really, it goes without saying, but this is a must-stop for the Jaguars' defense. They cannot let up another 1st down. If they do, this game is basically all but over. You know, if there's a turnover, things change. But for all intensive purposes, it's over if they pick up a 1st down here on this play or the next, if Coach Shea's squad decides to go for it on 4th down, as we saw him do a few plays ago on that quarterback sneak by the senior Dobmeyer on a gutsy call from their own 43-yard line. They were able to move the chains. Getting stretched out for quite a while here, and you don't always see this on such a cold night. The feels like in the teens here in Waconia this evening at kickoff. As you can see down on the field, he's upset, pounding his fist on the turf. And it's, once again, my apologies, I had the number wrong. It's Lucas Kitzman, who was down a series or 2 ago and walked off just like that before for the Jaguars with a little bit of a limp, as you can see him now, not wanting to put any weight on that left foot, as he'll slap some hands of his teammates and encourage them as they run back out onto the field. 3rd down and 7. Wildcats have to get to the 45 of Jefferson. A long wait between these plays, and now that clock will start right back up again. Well, it doesn't yet. This is a mistake by the clock operator. This clock should be starting again, and it doesn't. So Waconia not getting a favor there as this clock's not running. It'll now run once they snap it. McAnally is shy of the first down, and we got a similar spot. All right, does Jefferson use the timeout here to stop the clock? They have not yet. Kind of surprised they haven't done that, because really, you take it or you leave it. I guess they want one for their offense, but they're going to lose a lot of clock between these plays. Coach Carlson's squad rolling the dice by not taking a timeout here. I got to say, I'm shocked that they haven't burned the timeout yet. But regardless, this is the game right here. If Waconia is able to get it to the 45, this thing's over. If Jefferson can stop them, they'll have great field position. Again, they could be trying to draw them off sides, though. Dobmeyer, they're going to go for it. He's going to try to throw. His intended tight end fell over. Wide open man. They pick it up. 1st down for the Wildcats on the far side of the field. Trevor Stockman.
That play good for a Wildcat 1st down. Flag on the play.
And we have a flag, on the other side of the play behind the line of scrimmage. Unbelievable. I'm not sure when that flag was thrown, but when the ball came out of Dobmeyer's hands, I didn't see a flag, and it would have been an easy 1st down pickup for the Wildcats. Instead, the holding call from the spot of the foul will be 10 yards, and it'll be marched all the way back to the 36, and now you'd have to think the Wildcats have to punt it away. Almost assuredly, with 4th and forever, you can't go for it again. And it'll be interesting to see here for Jefferson. They have that one timeout in 30 seconds, but that's not a lot of time. You'd have to expect Coach Carlson's squad here, full-on punt block. They may not even send back a returner. Well, they do have Krakow back there now. But the rest of everybody else, run as fast as you can off the edge and try to block this punt if you're Jefferson. Back to punt for the Wildcats, it's the senior Anders Rodney, the sophomore, my apologies. Rodney just barely gets it away. Not a great kick, but it takes a little bit of a Waconia bounce. Krakow running up to it, acting like he's going to pick it up. And a lot of clock runs off, and the Jefferson coaching staff is incensed at Krakow, saying you got to pick up that football. Waconia just took off 13 seconds on that punt. Huge blow for the Jaguars. They still have that timeout, but they need to get this thing into the end zone. So after letting a lot of clock come off, not using the timeout before that 4th down, Waconia takes a ton of time off on that conversion that they had. That didn't end up being a conversion because it got taken back due to the penalty, but they wound it all the way down to 30, and then it's a 13-second play on a punt that wasn't returned whatsoever. Regardless, Jaguars got to move on. Need to get this thing in the end zone and a 2-point conversion to tie things up. It's not impossible, but it's going to take some heroics from the senior quarterback, Hansen. 1 timeout left, 17 ticks left, 52 yards to the end zone they have to go. Hansen down the far side of the field, knocked away by Sean Johnson, 10 ticks left. You can understand going to the sideline, yes, but at this point, if you're Hansen, you just got to go routes down the field, and if there's someone open over the middle of the field, you almost have to just trust it and go there and trust that your receiver will get down and you have that one timeout. You just want to get to a spot if you're the Jaguars where Hansen can take a chuck at the end zone on the last play of the game. But in order to do that, you feel like they need somewhat of a gain here to get them in that position. Hansen rolling out once again, chucking it down the far side of the field. He's got his man, and he's down at the 25. They call a timeout with 2 ticks left. No, they're telling him to clock it. I don't understand what they have. No, they don't have a timeout. My apologies. They don't have any timeouts left. My apologies. They're going to have to snap it or clock it with the second left. The referee bumps into the quarterback, Hansen. There's no way the game can be over. Wow. I got to say, I don't understand that one. 2 seconds can't come off when they gave him the go-ahead. They hiked it immediately, but, I mean, the referees are saying this thing's over. Jefferson's coaches can't believe it, and I can't either. But the referees are getting out of here, and that will do it. They won't get another snap, folks. Waconia hangs on, 19-11, moving to 2-1. Jefferson falls to 1-2. Thanks to all those who tuned in on Prep Spotlight. Have a great weekend.